The issue of crime has now surfaced in the race for mayor of Toronto. Our political specialist Cynthia Mulligan tells us that candidate Olivia Chow played the gun control card today. Cynthia?
That's right, Gord. Just days after a beloved teacher was shot to death in the very week of Danzig, the worst mass shooting in Toronto's history, Olivia Chow promised to work with the feds to get tough on gun control.
We need a ban on handguns. There is no reason why a person need to have a handgun.
Standing in front of a North York community centre named after Ephraim Brown, an 11-year-old whose death horrified the city 7 years ago when he was killed during a shootout between rival gangs. Olivia Chow promised she would push for stronger gun control and more community policing.
We don't want to see more tragedy happens. We don't want to see more pain and suffering.
It's interesting Olivia Chow chose to make guns a plank in her platform today. Toronto police say gun crime is actually way down and has been dropping for the last 8 years. Since this time last year, shootings without injury are down by 50%. Shootings involving injury or homicide are down by 10%. Why are you making this a major plank when actually the stats show that we're going in the right direction?
I'm glad we're going in the right direction. One death is too many.
Agreed, but this is also a good way for Chow to take some well-aimed jabs at Rob Ford.
We have a mayor that for the last 4 years justified gun control, justified the use of guns.
No comment from Rob Ford today, but there is a stark contrast in views. Chow wants community outreach workers to help at-risk youth. 2 years ago, Ford fought for more police instead and voted against the social programs.
I call them their Hug a Thug programs.
Chow wants more after-school programs and to work with community partners to prevent violence. Ford hasn't made any campaign pledge on crime yet, but just after the deadly Danzig shooting, which took place 2 years ago this Wednesday, Ford famously said he didn't want to let people who have done time for gun use back in Toronto.
They live in Toronto and they get caught with a gun. I don't want them back in the city.
Now, late today, Rob Ford issued a statement calling Olivia Chow's plan a political grandstanding, saying she actually voted against tougher gun control when she was a federal MP. As for John Tory, he called it an empty gesture as well, and he said criminals don't obey the law.